Hey everyone, I'm Alyu, and I've been playing Corrin since Smash 4. This is my unedited, uncut Corrin guide. And so I'm not going to be using subtitles like I usually do, but I hope that all the information I present still comes across clear enough to where you can understand it. So I'm going to be going through a lot of different things about Corrin. I'll be going pretty in depth, so I'm hoping this guide will be able to help Corrins of all skill levels, from absolute beginners to also like veteran Corrin players. Uh, Given this, some of the words I will be using may be niche fighting game terms that are unfamiliar to you. So if you don't really know what I've just said, you can leave a comment or you can look it up in the fighting game dictionary. Lastly, important frame data will be mentioned throughout this guide, though I apologize for any inconsistencies. So first, I want to talk about my controls. I'm using a modded Switch Pro controller. So it has notches. I was able to swap out the faceplate with a faceplate that has notches, and that was pretty helpful. For the actual controls, the most important one I want to highlight is L jump. L jump gives you access to like I'm flicking it right now to get consistent short hops. Of course, you also have full hops. By having L jump, you can IDJ very consistently. Um, then you can also do short hop aerials very easily. Short hop fast fall aerials in particular using L jump, because your left hand is handling the jump motion while your right hand can flick the C stick in any direction that you choose. I also have R set to special, which allows me to do C stick macro wave bounces. So you can like fade in, fade out. It's like It's like reversing, but you're still facing the same direction, right? So if you're interested in C-Stick macro wave bounces, you can check out Snaz. I think Snazin has a video on it. The same guy who did IDJ. He has a very good video on C-Stick macros, so you can check those out. I have Y set to grab. It's not very Corrin specific, but let's say if you're playing a different character like Lucas, Y grab gives you access to tech like double jump cancels there, for example. A is still attack, B is special, X is jump. C stick is set to tilts, and I have tap jump off. Uh, yeah, since I have tilt stick, I also have like high smash sensitivity, because that gives you uh, easier smash attacks, right? So I use C stick for tilts, and then when I need to smash attack, I just flick the control stick and then A. So, what kind of character is Corrin? So there's a lot of debate on Corrin. Some are like, oh, they're a swordy, zoner, maybe even more aggressive of sword characters with their pretty solid combo games. But I actually want to say that they're a Shoto. You have a fireball, fancy kick, and invincible reversal. Okay, so that's kind of a joke. In reality, I think she's a very solid character with no particular area of strength. If you look at like neutral or advantage, disadvantage, all of them are solid. I wouldn't say that they're exceptionally unique in any way, and maybe that's not. Maybe that's why people don't think they're top tier or something. Her advantage is solid. Her neutral is solid. Disadvantage is solid. There's no real weaknesses. Some people think she's too slow, but as you can see here, you have a frame 7 initial dash, so you're pretty fast on the ground. Your airspeed is alright. I guess like full run, it's really hard to move super fast, so you can try box trotting. Box trotting, of course, you get access to other stuff. People also think that some of her frame data, it's a little slow. I agree. Her fastest grounded option is jab, frame 5, or down tilt, also frame 5. They're both pretty slow, but they're not terribly slow by any means. And the range is pretty solid. It's all disjointed, of course, and I think that's fair enough to balance it out, and by giving it a little slower frame data, down tilt especially. It like combos into a lot of things, so it's pretty nice of a tool, and it's frame 5, but that's how it is. So basically this character is fundamentals the character. I want to say that this character relies more on fundamentals than even Lucina, so if you're a mechanically gifted player, you can still find use with Corrin, because uh, Corrin just maximizes all of your personal, like, the things you're good at. and that meshes really well with any playstyle you choose to play this character with. So each of the moves, we'll talk about each of the moves now. We have jab. There's both gentleman and rapid jab. Like I said, it's frame 5, so it's not really super good as a close range mash option. You can use it to meaty some ledge options, like maybe you're expecting a neutral getup, but I wouldn't really recommend that too much. What I like to use jab the most for is trapping air dodges. So at 0%, down tilt doesn't true combo into anything, but if you down tilt jab, it will trap air dodges, it will trap some mash options. I don't think people can mash out of it, unless they have an aerial that's faster than frame 5, because I think you're about frame neutral. So if they have like an aerial that will hit at that range that's faster than frame 5, then maybe you shouldn't be jabbing there. But if they don't know the matchup and they try to air dodge, you can just jab and it will trap them. It's just a very consistent option to do after down tilt at 0. Other than that, yeah, I wouldn't really use jab too much because down tilt is the same frame and you get a lot more off of it. Next, let's talk about F tilt. It's fully disjointed. It has pretty decent range. It's not super safe on shield if you hit it up close, but if they're shielding and let's say like this red corner is shielding right here, you can like hit it right here, it'll hit their shield and you're far away enough to where even though you're pretty minus, you're still safe. So it's a decent enough poke. The whiff recovery, so I'm buffering shield here. Whiff recovery is it's mid, but it's a decently sized button. If you want to throw it out in neutral, you can do a pivot cancel. So you run and then you slide right, and then you forward tilt that direction. So you kind of slide forward and forward tilt. It's a pretty good option. But at the same time, you can beat down tilting. Down tilt is less safe on shield, but you get more off of it. So it's a higher risk, a higher reward. Forward tilt, you don't get too much off of it, but if they're at higher percents, you knock them off. You can set up your advantage state. And like I said, Corrin's advantage state is pretty solid. So it's kind of like forward throw. You don't really get too much directly off of it, but position-wise, you have a lot to work with. Down tilt, it's pretty minus, but yeah, it's Corrin's fastest grounded option at frame 5. Sets up for a lot of juggles, sets up for a lot of traps, and that kind of thing. I'll talk more about combos later, but one good one to know is down tilt, up tilt. It's not true at this percent, but it's true from 20 to 40%. And after that, you can do down tilt, up air. And then down tilt, full hop, up air starts killing around the 115 on like Corrin. It's a lot more niche, but if you're on a platform, then you can also kill earlier with that too. Up tilt, the whiff recovery is pretty bad for something like this, and it doesn't really hit grounded opponents that well. They can like low profile it or even just straight up hit you. So it's probably best used after down tilt or in a juggle scenario. If they're on a platform, this up tilt will cover most of the platform, so it's a good pressure tool for platforms. I wouldn't throw it out in neutral as much if you want to get kind of risky with it, but you can always pivot cancel it. It's a pretty cool anti-air callout option, and if you hit the back hit of up tilt, you're more frame positive, so you'll be able to true combo into up air around 40% off of that. Whereas if you hit the front hit, you're pretty much never able to get a combo off of it. Maybe a trap if you're feeling a little cool with it, but other than that, I don't really know what you can do off of that. So I wouldn't throw it out in neutral as much, especially when you have such a nice up air. But if you're comboing into it, it's a really good tool. If you're on a platform, it's a really good tool too. Next, I'll talk about smash attacks. So forward smash, it's pretty long range. It has a tipper. Down smash, kind of similar. The front hit is the sword, which is one consistent hitbox, but the back hit does have a sweet spot. So it's right at the tip, right there. And then that is it's not a sweet spot, it's just one hitbox, I believe. And up smash also has a tipper. There's a sizable scoop. I guess not that sizable. Right here. And so that was tipper right there. It's very strong, the tipper, and it's perfect height for battlefield platforms. So one of the cool mix-ups you can do if they're on a platform, you jump onto the platform and then fast fall through the platform, and then if they drop shield or something, you just up smash and you can kill people with that. One thing to know about forward smash in particular is that if you charge it, the sword that Corrin is holding out there is an active hitbox, and so it'll do this. In general, it'll true combo into the forward smash. There are some times when it doesn't, and that's especially true against characters with faster than frame 3 air dodges. Even a frame 3 air dodge, there's still a gap if you're incredibly unlucky. So in general, if you want it to hit, just make sure they don't get to the very end of it. So you don't charge too long, because now here he's like kind of dropping out of it, right? And so if you let them start to drop out, you'll increase the chance that your forward smash will just whiff through their air dodge. And then one important thing to know, or counterplay wise, let's say they're charging the forward smash. If you want to get out of this without like, if they full charge it, they can break your shield, and it covers all options, like even roll spot dodge. There's nothing you can do here. So the only option you do have is called shield SDI. The way it works is you hold shield and you hold B, and then you flick your stick backward repeatedly, like kind of like you're foxtrotting back, and this will cause your shield to wiggle. So the CPU is releasing it too fast for me to do a proper demonstration, but I'll try to see if I can get close enough to where it'll be. So if you shield SDI, it stops hitting. That was a good example right there. It was hard to see though. You kind of go farther away, and then the chainsaw will stop hitting your shield, and then that's when you can roll out, jump out, or do something. But you see, if I'm up close, it catches spot dodge, it catches, that was roll forward. That was roll back. I got lucky there, like I said. And then this is jump. I'll try roll back one more time. So it hits me there. It must have been because I rolled back right when he released the chainsaw. But yeah, in general, there's nothing you can do unless you shield SDI. And then even if they full charge it, you can get out and they won't be able to break your shield. So that's the smash attacks. Next, dash attack. So this is minus 22. It's very unsafe. It crosses up, I think. Wish I could check that easily. But it's pretty risky as a neutral option because of this. And so my favorite way to use dash attack is after a forward air. So it has really solid damage, 26.0, versus maybe a different route like up tilt, which is only 20%. Insta gives you the most damage at 31, but after you forward kick, there's nothing you can really do. You're pretty laggy, buffering shield here. So it's very hard to capitalize. So I actually think forward air dash attack is one of your better routes. Sets into tumble and pops them right up in front of you, and you're just able to do a lot of things in this position. You can go into maybe a forward air, right? You can try to catch an option, maybe up tilt. Forward tilt's pretty cool. You can even do a second dash attack, which sets up this scenario again. Then maybe after a higher percent, you can hit a back air. Yeah, he was too low there. So it's really good off the forward air, in my opinion. But maybe as a niche whiff punish, if you can't reach them in time with an insta pin. I'll talk about how to do insta pin in a bit. If you can't reach them, you can hit a dash attack. Well, once again, it's minus 22, so be careful with it. Next, we're going to be talking about throws. Horns grab is pretty average. Pivot grab has decent range. Dash grab is pretty solid. It's not like Greninja where you don't want to be dash grabbing. You can dash grab with Corrin. It's pretty good. Erg throws. Down throw is your damage throw, and it pops them up at a pretty solid angle. Um, so you can apply pressure off of that, especially maybe there's a plat there or something like that. Forward throw and back throw are positional throws. They do less damage than down throw, but they give you they send at a worse angle for the opponent, which gives you more positional advantage. So let's say you're around here, and I'm gonna say we'll put them at 20. You throw them off, and then now you have a very good situation for you. You can start ledge trapping or whatever. Whereas if you down throw here, you might not specifically get as good of a ledge situation. Up throw is your kill throw. It kills Corrin on like midweights around 165 is where I use up throw. If you're below that, try pummeling, and if you're still below that, just down throw. Down throw, it doesn't kill on good DI, but up throw kills no matter what DI here. On lighter characters, like Pichu, maybe 145. On like Bowser, 185, I'd say. I don't have the exact values on hand, but those are the general rules of thumb I follow. So midweight's like 165. Aerials. Nair is your fastest one, 36. So it's your best out of shield. Covers a really good range around you. So that's what makes it your best out of shield option. If you want, you could mix in IDJ here. That way you can like fade away. Makes it a little safer. And of course, you can do a landing aerial. Up air, fair, back air. Forward air is your main neutral tool and your main combo tool. Overall, it's very solid. It's -4, so it's your safest aerial. And even if it wasn't -4, you can space it, right? And if you space it, you're safe no matter what the frame data is here. And on top of that, yeah, it's -4, so you're likely not getting punished. It's your best combo starter because it combos into other combo starters, combos into itself, combos into instant pin, all kinds of good things. So fair is probably your main neutral option. Up air is kind of like fair. It has higher base knockback and higher damage. This is more niche, but at 0%, short hop up air will not tumble, but full hop up air will due to full hop multiplier, so that tumbles here. It's important to know for very specific routes, but I won't go too in depth with those specific routes right now because we're still labbing them or they don't really exist. So up air is -5, and like forward air, it's huge and you can space it. So this is also a really good tool. It combos better than forward air at 0% because you can do this route. So that's up air into delayed short hop up air into IDJ forward air, up air, double jump forward air, up air. That's really good. And forward air, like I said, your highest optimal damage route at 0. It's just instant pin, which is 35. So maybe closer to 0%, you want to be going for up airs more. But once you hit around 20, you no longer get that same reward off of up air. Its knockback rough is too high. So let's say I hit up air to forward air. Most I can get is an up air there. He's at 63. If I hit a forward air, you can go for an IDJ. Oh my. That's all true. It changes depending on DI. I'm used to double jumping there. Maybe the percent is too low. Second IDJ. And you get more damage there, because that was 69, I think, the upper route. Yeah, it's only 63. So, forward air. That's really consistent 69%. So yeah, basically after 10% you start wanting to use forward air. Even at 0%, forward air might be better too, depending on the situation, because it goes in front of you, you don't have to turn around. It's much easier to buffer a down tilt after that, etc. Back air. Back air pushes you, so if I jump neutrally, then I back air, I'm now forward. If you buffer this out of tumble, this effect doesn't apply. So like, for example, if he like forward smashes me and I'm in tumble and I back air, I won't get the push if I buffer it right after. So what you'll want to do is wait a little bit after getting knocked away to use your back air to make sure, one, you actually get the pushback, and two, you don't extend your hurt box into the blast zone, which could end up killing you. And it has happened to multiple Corrins multiple times. I hope it isn't you. But other than that, as a recovery tool, this is huge and disjointed. So it's Corrin's best air-to-air because it's so big, it's disjointed. It pushes you back, so you're safe after it. You're not frame safe like you are on fair and up air, but you're still safe. Nair is, I forgot to mention that it is less safe than forward air and up air. I don't remember the exact frame, maybe -6, but it's not as safe. So if you're using a poke, go for a forward air, up air, back air. If you're doing it out of shield, Nair is best. Finally, oh, and yeah, back air, super high knockback growth. So it's your best kill option. Like if they're off stage, just back at them at like even a medium %, and they will die. Oh, that was iframes on Corrin's upbeat. Cool. Okay, so next we have Dragon Fang Shot. So we'll be talking about specials. Dragon Fang Shot has a projectile and it has a bite, and you can actually charge the two independently. So, for example, you could do large shot and then small bite. This is what happens if you just hold B down and then let go right when the shot fires. If you hold down B continuously, it'll charge the second chomp. But you can also fire a light shot and do a heavy chomp. And the way you do this is by double tapping B really fast. So first you tap 1B to get the shot, then you hit B a second time and hold it the second time so you can charge the bite. This option is not very safe. It's -28 full charge on shield, and even if they block the shots, you can just drop shield depending on your character. Yeah, I don't even need to play it. I can just block it like that, as long as they don't mess up and spot dodge like I did the first time. And then you can get a punish off of that. If you're really good, you just spot dodge the first one. I'm a little rusty right now. Yeah, something like that. Don't forward smash though. But yeah, you can punish that. The shot itself, it has a stun, so it's pretty strong. But it's also not a great poke because it's pretty minus. And since you have to bite after, even if you don't fully charge, you're gonna be like pretty minus and at a disadvantage if you just use it as a poke. So I'd recommend not just like sitting here and shooting shot, maybe once as a rare mix-up to like stack your opponent's mental stack or whatever. If you want to use it as a meaty air-to-air, you can do a short hop DFS, and then that way you get a little drift going, and this helps you keep the flow of your movement. So I like doing this option a lot. Next, we have Dragon Lunge, side B. So if you do it in the air, it'll shoot out a pin at kind of this 45-degree angle. If you do it on the ground, you get this hop. This hop, you actually have a lot of control over the drift and how you move. So for example, if I hold full back, I'll do this kind of hop. You can even clip off stage if you wanted to. Holding down, boom, maybe get an edge guard. You don't need to do that though, you can just run off. But just demonstrating the movement on the hop here. And then if you hit an attack, A or B, or like attacker special, during this hop, you will shoot out the pin. And so on the ground, if you hit it, it'll stun them, and flicking forward will cause it to kick. Flicking back will cause it to kick backward. Hitting up will cause you to jump, and hitting down will just cancel the pin. So up has a few iframes, but nothing super noticeable. You're still minus, but it's still probably your safest option because you can jump away. So like if they block it, you should probably either jump, maybe back kick if they're a slow character, or if they're really not expecting it, you could forward kick their shield, and if they drop their shield, they'll get hit. Forward kick has pretty good knockback. It'll often kill a lot of characters. I want to switch to Battlefield for pin, actually. There's some cool things I can demonstrate here. But yeah, so you have forward kick, back kick, jump, and cancel. Another thing to know about Dragon Lunge is that if you do it out of a full hop, you can actually cancel the end lag using a forward air. So I'm buffering forward air here by holding forward on the C stick. Or not here. And it'll cause you to auto cancel land, so you can like act immediately. There's another cancel you can do on platforms. If you do a short hop and then you forward kick, and notice how typically I slide on the ground, and so this gives me lag. But if you buffer special immediately, for some reason, the game will cancel the lag. So I'm gonna buffer side B here, and it just cancels the lag. To this day, I do not know why, but this is how it works. You can do interesting mix with that. Doesn't work off of back kick. Oh. That might have been an auto cancel land, my bad. Yeah. So that's side B. Doesn't work off of back kick. The thing about back kick though is that it kicks a little higher, so you can jump after it. If you like do it high enough, off of a back kick, you can jump. Whereas, even if I full hop on a forward kick, sometimes you don't get the jump. I guess here it's okay though, because I'm hitting high enough. But yeah, if you do a short hop, you can't jump after, so you can only cancel with the special. And if you do a short hop and then back kick, you actually can jump. Sorry, that's what I meant. You off of a short hop, back kick, you can still jump, but off of a short hop, side kick, you cannot jump. You can only do the special cancel. This cancel is called Uair Pupko Apaklies. So I have a video on that if you're interested, but I'll move on from that for now. Using these platforms, you can do all kinds of mix-ups. Like I said, if you full hop, you're able to cancel it. So you can do interesting movement, fade away, fade back. Just get tricky with it. It's a little laggy, and they can intercept you during the kick if you're not careful. So don't use this option too much, but it can be kind of tricky. On platforms like Battlefield, if you do a full hop and then wait until you're at the zenith of your jump, and you hit up, and then also delay that so you can get the maximum height out of all of your jumps, your down air will auto cancel. So you can use this as a stalling tactic to like fake people out. Not here. And not there either, but off of a full hop. Another thing to know, this is related to down air. I just remembered since we're down airing here. If you do a full hop, you can actually recover from a down air, like this. It's even easier when you are on a walled stage because you can just hit the wall and jump. So that's pretty neat. Other things to know about pin. This is like Corrin's most unique tool. So there's a lot of niche tech, and we're probably still finding things to this day. One of my favorites is if you dash at this ledge, or either ledge, you dash at it, and then roll back. You're at the perfect space for a buffered. When you side B there, buffered. You buffer all the moves. You'll do a ledge cancel. And you could also do this off of a waveland onto this corner of BF. Oh, I'm missing it. So that's buffered. And since you're doing a ledge cancel here, you can do like basically anything you want. You can even like pin back here. And this is another tech. Run off ledge into pin. So if you kick here right away, it covers all ledge options if timed properly. It's a really good ledge trapping tool, especially at high percents when you get a lot off the forward kick. There's also the pin itself, 2 frames. You can 2 frame either with the insta pin or by pinning the side like that. And if you do it low enough, the kick itself will also 2 frame. So you can do it low, and then kick, and then hold down. And then what the holding down will, sorry, I'm missing it. Holding down will cause you to cancel your ledge snap, which will extend the duration that the hitbox is out. So you can also use that to 2 frame, especially against recoveries that lack hitboxes. Like maybe a teleport. I can't do this while talking. Boom. So that's pretty good against enemy recovery without a hitbox. The very most important thing to know about pin is how to insta pin. So what you do is you hold forward, you hold back, and you slide your finger from B to A. You kind of like give it this little flick. And so the first B will cause you to special hop, and the A will cause you to buffer pin on the very first frame. So all I'm doing here is I'm flicking from B to A. And that's how you insta pin. So insta pin has its own uses. Like I said, it's one of Corrin's best 2 framing options. You just hold down to cancel right after in case you wanna ledge drop and you miss the pin. But really solid 2 frame option right here. If they're hanging on ledge too long, you can also do that. But more commonly in neutral, it'll be used as a whiff punish. So let's say they've landed with the aerial and they miss, right? Boom, you pop out with a pin, forward kick, and you get solid damage off of that. Is there anything? So the platforms, like I said, up tilt covers here. The up smash mix I was talking about, you do this. Like go here, you drop through, up smash. Pretty cool. And yeah, down tilt up air will kill earlier on the plat, like as you might have thought. Yeah. So I'll move back to FD for probably the rest of this video. While I'm switching, we talk about counter. It's actually pretty bad for a counter. It has pretty mid knockback growth, pretty mid like activation hitbox or activation window. So it's not active for very long, and it's pretty weak. It's all right. The cool thing about it is it sends up though, so it'll knock your opponent up. Which if you're juggling them, let's say you like up air a couple times, and then you think they'll mash, you can do a double jump counter or something, and then it'll send them straight up, continuing the juggle, or if they're high enough, it'll just kill them. And so we want to make use of the fact that counter sends up by using it during juggles as rare mix-up. Course is laggy, so if you miss it, you're gonna die. So maybe less so when you're juggling, because the most it can get off is maybe a down air, depends on the character. But I'd say I'd use it most when juggling and you want a cool mix. I wouldn't use it as other characters use their counters where, oh, I read that they're gonna like forward tilt or something, you just counter them. Last but not least, up B. It's called Dragon Ascent. Maybe that's just the name of Rayquaz's move, but the thing to know about up B is that if you just hit up, it'll send out a 60-ish degree angle. I don't know exactly what angle this is, but it doesn't send straight up. And if you wanted to send straight up, you actually need to hold back. But you need to hold back after the startup to make sure you don't accidentally get a B reverse. So you just hold up, and then what I do is I roll from the top notch over here. So in numpad notation, that would be 874. And then by rolling, you're able to get the vertical up here. And then if you need to, you should hit 7 up to like turn it around, or 9 up depending on where you are. And holding forward after up B will send you at a 45-degree angle. So combined, you have this 45-degree angle that's really good getting back here. You have the upward angle, which is probably best for deep recoveries. So I'm doing this by, once again, I'm holding back. You hold back after up B. And then if you want something in between, you just flick it, and it'll pop pop you right there in between those two angles. Up B actually has some iframes on it right at the startup, but unlike this red corn that clipped me with it just a few minutes ago, it's not very consistent, so I wouldn't purposely try to use it too much unless you're really mechanically good at like timing that kind of thing. Otherwise, if you want to avoid getting edge guarded, I would recommend sliding up the side of the stage, maybe using a 45-degree angle. So this slide right here will help prevent certain two frames. I missed there. It'll prevent certain two frames, and you might even clip them with the hitbox if you slide it into the stage. It'll crush them. The other way you can mix it up is by going straight up, like maybe you're over here, and then clip that way. And so this will also dodge some two frames by going above them. So this goes below some two frames. The other one goes above some two frames. I missed. And then for the actual edge guarding, the hitbox is pretty big, so it's sort of hard for them to edge guard, but some characters are able to trade through it. I guess a good example is like King K. Rool. Like if you try to down air King K. Rool, he'll just trade you, right? It's kind of similar to Corrin. The hitbox is big enough where most characters can't consistently edge guard it, so they might go for a 2-frame, and that's when you throw in the mix-ups. So that's up B. We're actually, I think I've gone over all of their moves, so let's just go over some basic BnBs. I already talked about off of forward air at 0, you have dash attack, you have down tilt, or you have to delay it slightly, I guess, and you have insta pin. So insta pin is most damage. My personal favorite is dash attack. Maybe you can even get a grab here. Up to you. And then down tilt. At 0, down tilt doesn't give you anything, so I like to jab here. If you want to call out a jump, then you can up tilt after. If you want to cover other options, you can try naring. Naring is slower than jab though, so you might lose to some faster aerials. Other combo tools at 0, you have up air. If you hit an up air at 0, very good news for you. You want to do a short hop, delayed, fast fall up air again right after that. And then turn around, do an IDJ forward air, landing up air, and then combo off of that. So, I have more in-depth combo videos on this channel. You can go through, find the chord combo guide for some of those, and then maybe a video on like the IDJ combo routes that I was talking about. Those will give you a good picture of Corrin's combos. So I'm just gonna be pretty brief with the routes here. Moving on to around 20%, this is where down tilt, up tilt is true. So it's very helpful. This is a very classic BnB because it sets up your juggles, right? So it's pretty nice. Oh yeah, up B, the very beginning of it, you might be able to ledge snap, kind of like Cloud, but it's not super consistent. Not like the level of Cloud's is. Back to BnBs. 20%, if you land a forward air on midweights, you'll want to do an IDJ forward air right after, and then that'll set up your route, whatever route you decide to do, depending on their DI. You kind of react to their DI. If they're DIing out, right, maybe that double jump forward air will hit. If they're DIing in, you might want to drift back your forward air a little before you finish the combo. I don't like that. And you want to IDJ because we want to hit the bottom hitbox of forward air. So like this hitbox, right there, it'll give you that one frame of advantage that you need to make this combo true. So right here, this route is true. It doesn't show up on the combo counter, but it's true against frame 3. I think even frame 2 it's true. If it's not on the combo counter though, maybe frame 1 can get out of it. But it's very consistent. You don't drop like me. Very classic BnB. Maybe forward air. This is a really good route too if you don't want to go for the IDJ. If you mess it up, maybe it's just a buffered short hop fair into up tilt. So that's really good. You start getting that like 40%. Now your IDJ forward air isn't gonna work as well. So if you hit land a forward air, you want to do a full hop forward air so you can keep your double jump and finish the route like that. You can even do short hop forward air maybe short hop forward air, double jump forward air. No, that doesn't work as well as full up. Yeah, so if you want more damage, you have to full up there. That's a true combo. Even on the combo counter, you can see it. They can't really DI that. Down tilt, you want to start up airing here. It's true. Yeah, your main combo tools are forward air and down tilt, so I'm mainly going to be talking about those. Start getting around 50. You actually start getting a kill confirm at ledge off of forward air. This, you can do forward air into insta shot, full charge bite, or sometimes not full charge depending on the character. So you'll have to feel that out. Letting go slightly earlier will actually increase the knockback. So if you don't full charge the bite, you will actually have a little bit more knockback. You'll sacrifice some damage though. So that'll start killing at ledge around 50. If they hard DI out and you're afraid the DFS won't hit, you hit a pin instead. Or kind of weird because it's not DI now, of course. It's a bot set to 0 DI. I'm gonna stop trying before I make a fool of myself again. But that's 50%. Of course, down tilt upper still works. Probably just want to buffer short hop. You don't need a full hop yet. 60%, same routes. Forward air, short hop, dragon fang. But around this percent, you want to start full hopping if you want to land the whole thing. So that time I full charged, so it missed, but there I let go early and it hit. So you still short hop up there here. Now we get to like 70, 75. This is where if they DI out the forward air, you really can't hit the dragon fang as well. So you can opt for the pin. That'll hit on DI out. Or you can pull up back air. That starts working here too. You can always short hop back air, but I think it gives you less reward than some of the other routes I've been talking about. So you start full up back airing, especially around like 80%. You can start doing aerials into back air. So we have like landing nair, rar. We have backward nair, rar. No need a rar there, I guess. Forward air, rar. IRAR. Or slingshot, depending on who you're talking to. They're the same thing. 80%. Still have like down tilt up there, of course. Short hop is still working here, but I think at 90, I'd like to full hop if I can. So start full hopping. It's still true. And then yeah, you have forward air, back air. Starts not working as well. So if you're getting too high, maybe around 100%, you want to use late nair. It's like the second hit of nair, where if you're facing forward, it's when Corrin's spike arm hits. So there, I hit the spike arm. I'm sorry, I don't know what it's actually called. And then on your back, it would be when the sword hits and not the spike arm. So here I'm hitting the sword, as you can see. Kind of like Ike in that regard, and that'll still kill around 100. Here, you definitely need to start full hopping. You can IDJ if that's easier for you, but I think full hop is more consistent here. It's not showing up on the common counter, but it is true. Maybe if I'm better. Okay. Then we start getting to like 110. For yourselves comboing at this point, you probably want to hit a raw back air, hit a raw forward smash, hit it instant pin with punish. On the maybe throw in a throw there. Dragon fang shot or something. Yeah. Your down tilt though will still combo, and this is when it kills. And it showed up true on the combo counter there too. This is a DI 50-50, so if I hit them on that side, it'll send to the left. So if I hit them from the right, it'll send to the left. If I hit them from the left, it'll send to the right. So if you hit them right in the middle, it'll create a DI 50-50, kind of like Rob, where they can't really like react to the DI, and it'll kill them much earlier. But even if they DI like properly at this percent, it'll still kill, especially if you do it from plat. Just like maybe a little lower, like 110. Even against true DI, if you hit the DI 50-50, like, you'll die. I don't know why I said against true DI, because it would be DI in the wrong way, but yes, it would kill there. So those are all the BnBs. Next, let's talk about just how to play Corrin in general, like game plan. Um, when you're in neutral, there's three main options you have. So this is Machabo's theory of the neutral triangle. I hope you guys look into it because it's really good. But basically, Machabo says that there are three main neutral playstyles. There's whiff punish, advancing attack, and poking. So you need to use all three of these interchangeably depending on what your opponent uses. And sometimes you can't react and switch, and you might have to call them out. So the better Smash player will be doing this better, if that makes sense. But, so with punishing, they miss a button, you hit an instant pin, hit a dash attack, maybe they hit a grounded option, you jump over it with forward air. You also have this dash to shield. So Corrin's initial dash is frame 7. So if you hold forward, and then you hold shield, so I'm still holding forward here actually. It's not causing me to roll. You can kind of see how my shield is like forward. You just hold forward and then shield, and you'll have this dash to shield. So the shield comes out on the 8th frame, so it's frame 8. This is a really good approach option, especially against zoners. Like, they really can't hit you here if you did right. So yeah, with punishing, right, you can whiff punish with that, you can whiff punish with the landing forward air if you jump over it, whiff punish with the dash attack, so on and so forth. Advancing attack is when they're expecting you to whiff punish, so they kind of like dash back to avoid the whiff punish. So for example, if you're like, say, I am trying to like back up here so that you miss, right? So let's say this Corrin is, we'll set it to forward smash. So he forward smashes and I dash out of range. He dashes out of range so I get punished, right? Well, if you're expecting your opponent to dash back, then what you want to do is you actually want to forward smash them forward. So what you would do is you would run up and then forward smash. So that way, even if they dash back, like if Corrin dashes back here, boom, it still hits them. And that's how you beat people who constantly whiff punish. If they're like jumping away and like forward airing you, then you just run up and back air, right? Your back air is a really good air to air. Like if they're trying to hit that landing fair like I was showing you, you can run up and back air them and start your advantage. So that is called advancing attack. It's to beat people who are trying to whiff punish you all the time. And then lastly, there's poking. This is for people who are constantly advancing attack. If I'm running at you to hit you, like if I'm running at you to try to like dash attack you maybe, or whatever to beat your advanced attack, like I'm trying to pivot cancel forward tilt in your face, then all you have to do is poke. So one of Corrin's good pokes. I use down tilt a lot as a poke, even though maybe I shouldn't because it's I think minus 17. Could be wrong there, but I like to use this as a poke because of its good reward. So my favorite grounded poke is down tilt. You can always poke with forward air because you're covering space here. So if they try to approach through this fair, they might get hit. So you'll be using forward air for all three of the strategies I talked about. With punishing, you jump over something, you forward air. Advanced attack, you run at them, you forward air. And then lastly, poking, you just throw out a forward air to poke them, right? So fair is good, down tilt is a good poke, and then instant pin is a good whiff punish too. Advancing attack, maybe throw in a dash attack if you're feeling it. It's like I said, it's riskier, but it does go pretty far, so you can try it. And that's pretty much how you play neutral. If they're trying to whiff punish you all the time, then don't whiff by advancing attack and just hit them. But if they're advancing attacking you because you're whiff punishing them a lot, if they start to advancing attack you, that's when you start poking them so that they can't hit you. And then if they're throwing out a lot of pokes, well, pokes have lag most of the time, unless they're like super top tier, and that's when you want to whiff punish. Even the most top tier pokes, you can whiff punish by maybe jumping on top of them and down airing or something, right? So there's always counterplay this stuff, except for maybe Steve, which is why that one tech got banned. Next, let's talk about juggling. So you knock them up. You can go for up airs, or you can try to predict an air dodge. And you like jump at them to kind of bait out an air dodge, you jump at them, and then when they air dodge, you smack them with whatever option you deem fit. Like pretend you air dodge there, I don't know. Or they could try to swing at you. Your up air will beat a lot of options, so if they try to down air, you can still up air through it. If they double jump, that's okay. You just land and then you jump after them because they're still in the air, right? So you just land on the ground and then now you have your double jump back. They don't, so you can jump at them. And then if you really want to go for it, like I said, you can always counter. So if you expect like, oh, they're gonna try to down air me as I jump at them, boom, counter. They hit your down air and they're sent back up to continue to juggle. Of course, juggling is very good. And then at some point, your stuff will start killing. If you want to go for a very high risk, high reward option, you can up B. So that up B will kill opponents maybe around 100. If you're really high in the blasting, like let's say you jump off a pot, it'll kill you even earlier. So up B is always a good option. It's fairly meaty, so it might cover some air dodges if they time it wrong. Next, let's talk about edge guarding. So you have Dragon Fang Shot. It's alright. It's kind of hard to hit. You have back air. Back air is really good. If they're kind of high up, you can up air them. So oftentimes you want to have your back to them because that gives you access to back air and the back hit of up air. So the back hit of up air is best on the ground because it'll hit them. It has more range than the front hit. And same thing applies when you're edge guarding. Right? Well, in that case, you'd probably want to back air, but like if they were higher up, you would up air. And then your back air, once again, is really strong. And you can always pin too. So pin is a very solid option. You just run off and pin them. I missed, but if you were better, yeah, you can pin them. So that's edge guarding. Two framing. You have two frame options. Like I said earlier, you have instant pin. So when you hit them here, and you also have down air. Down air is meatier, and so it's more consistent of a two frame, but you get less reward off of it. What I like to do when I'm going for a down air two frame is I'll hold down, and then right when they're about to land, I'll hit jump in A, and then that way it's just less inputs. But up to you, of course. When you're ledge trapping, it's very, very standard. You can turn around, throw out back airs to cover jumps, throw out uppers to cover jumps, maybe you know forward air to cover a jump. If they neutral get up, you punish them with whatever option you have. Grab is very consistent for neutral get up, punishing get up attack, punishing roll. You can maybe throw in a pivot grab here, or grab them that way. You don't even need a pivot grab though. You can just grab them this way. Grab is really good for that. Down smash covers a lot of options. So I'd recommend using it at higher percents where you get more reward off of it too. So running that all together, you have like this. If they hang on ledge for too long, you just instant pin them and it'll hit tipper and kill them probably. Another option you can try is Dragon Fang Shot. So the shot will combo into the bite, and the shot is meteor. So it'll hit them if they try to neutral get up through it and they mistime it. If they get up attack, or if they roll. If they roll, the bite hits them. If they jump wrong, the shot will hit them, and then the bite will hit them, and so forth. And then earlier I mentioned, you know, run off pin. So this pick here, if you do a high run off pin, like if you do it like right away and you're higher up, so you don't end up below the stage, this will hit a lot of options. It'll cover jump, it'll cover basically everything. Even roll, right? And then if you do it lower, that's another two frame option. And then maybe you cancel. If you cancel it, you can ledge snap and maybe get a trump. If you do that cancel, the ledge cancel off of dragon lunge, you can grab ledge off that too. And then you can even combine the two to do a ledge cancel into the off stage pin like that. So you have a lot of different options to mix up your opponent on the ledge. Maybe throw in one of these. Throw in a DFS. So Corrin's ledge game is pretty solid. She doesn't have any incredible ledge trapping options like snake up smash, but even so, her ledge can be pretty impressive. Next, we'll talk about getting juggled. So let's say you're getting tossed into the air by someone. Your options, of course, you have air dodge, you have double jump to try to jump away. You can actually mix up your trajectory by back airing up here. So sometimes I'll back air like this, and then they'll be swinging over here, but I've back aired over here. So that's one way you can get back. You have counter, which is risky, but you can reverse the juggle situation because it sends up, right? So if they're juggling you, you counter them. Now you're the one juggling them. And last but not least, you have down air. It's minus 21 on shield and very punishable on whiff. So I'd recommend not using this too much if you can help it. This using down air too much in disadvantage is probably the largest bad habit of beginner Corrins, along with always forward kicking even if they will shield it. If they shield it, you're more than minus 20, sometimes you're even minus 30 if you're too close. So yeah, down airing too much, forward kicking too much, those are probably the two biggest bad habits that I see of beginner Corrins. So try to avoid those. But down air, don't ever sleep on it. It's always a really good option. It sets into a tech situation sometimes too if you hit it, and it does a lot of damage, especially the higher up they are, because then more hits of the down air hit, and so then you get more damage off the down air. So they're in a really bad position, and you can like hit them back. So down air is also a really good reversal option, but just don't use it too much, kind of like counter, because if you whiff it, you will get punished. So back air, so you change momentum. This might be more advanced. I don't really see too many people doing this, but I think it's a really good option. So everyone, please try it and tell me what you think, so you can either use it or get rid of it if it's bad. But in general, I think it's good. And then lastly, recovering. I mentioned this already earlier, but changing up the angle, so like snap here, or go up, or not like that, but like go up, and getting comfortable with reversing the up B if need be. So being able to reverse it by tilting your control stick at the 45s. So reverse, and then I'm going to reverse it back this way. Getting comfortable with that is very pivotal to making sure you can always recover a point. Like I said, delay your back air. That way you don't. That way you still get the momentum boost, but you don't send yourself into the blast zone. You could Dragon Fang Shot this stall because it like bounces a little. If you do a double jump Dragon Fang Shot off the ledge, so like you shoot and then you shoot again, you don't have that stall, so you'll want to up B right away. But if they're not expecting it, you can always throw out the second shot, which may disrupt their ledge trapping. And then lastly, ledge options. Let's say you're on ledge, you have all the standard options. You can chill out, you can jump, you can neutral get up attack, get up roll, or ledge drop, double jump forward air. That's an option. But Corrin has this really unique and powerful ledge option. Ledge drop, double jump pin, like this. It actually hits pretty far into the stage, the pin itself. So if they're not being careful, the pin will hit them. On slanted stage like Lila and maybe even I think Yoshi's Story too. You can do a double jump buffered pin, and this will hit the stage because you're on a slant. But even on a non-slanted stage, you could delay the pin off the full hop, so that way you can cancel into a jump or auto cancel land if you need to. So on ledge, pin is a pretty scary option, but once again, it's really minus. So if it does get shielded, maybe you want to cancel back if they aren't ready for it, and they won't punish you. Or you can try jumping too, right? Like, oh, they shield it, I'm gonna jump, mix it up. Yeah, try to be creative with your ledge options, of course. The biggest thing when trying to get off ledge is not to do the same option in a predictable manner, right? Maybe you do it twice in a row, 3 times in a row if you think your opponent won't expect it, but in general, you want to mix it up. So sometimes you'll jump. Jump is really good if they're not reacting to it because it's unreactable. You have pin, neutral get up, roll. Maybe you Dragon Fang Shot if you're really feeling it. There's always like riskier options you can go for, but I'm just throwing those out there. So that's all I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if there was a specific thing you want me to talk about more, just let me know, and I'll make up a follow-up video talking about whatever you had in mind. Thanks for watching up to this point, and I hope to see you in Corrin. There's the link. I'll leave the link in the description. You can join Corrin, which is a Discord Super Smash Bros. Corrin community. If you have any Corrin questions, you can always ask them there. Also want to shout out to the Corrins in France because they're really cool and they've been supportive, so thank you guys. And I'll see you in the next one.